search. Chris, over to you.
Hi, can you hear us?
Hi, Nicole. Yes.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having us here today. We wanted to go through sort of information technology update as well as talk about how translates to your recent graduates and really puts you in a great position right now just entering the workforce. Here, do we have control over the slides? Okay. So there's been some major shifts in technology over the 21st century. There's a lot on this slide right here, but just as the industry as a whole is growing and changing, things are always transitioning, and there's been a really increase in demand over the past couple of years for technology. We've actually seen a lot of growth in our industry where the unemployment rate for IT talent is actually around 2.1 with a bachelor's degree, so it's very hot right now, very in demand, and very desired skill sets. The moving trend right now is that anything that can be digitalized will be, and so as the music industry has changed, books have changed, everything is going to be translated into data, and through that, data in the world doubles every 20 months. It's essentially as here, can we back up a little bit? Sorry. Essentially, because of that, the growing demand for IT is going to continuously go up exponentially over the next few years, and projected that the industry as a whole is going to be growing 5 to 6% year over year. We're projecting that to at least 2016. Essentially, the many gigabytes of data that we have are more than the stars in the universe, which is why we had that slide in there, just to give you an idea of what is actually out there. And with that growing demand, the jobs in the industry, there's not enough people to keep up with it. So with that increasing data, it's doubling every 2 years, it's just creating so many job opportunities for recent graduates like yourselves, as well as other people in the industry that are wanting to transition themselves over to information technology and engineering.
Yeah, and then specifically within that, one element that we really want to touch base on, especially for the recent graduates, is keep in mind with all of this demand in the industry data, you have a couple of unique situations. For instance, a lot of startups were obviously coming into play where you have very unique, very interesting types of organizations to be a part of. But another thing you need to keep in mind is because there's so much need in the IT industry in general, organizations have...
Sorry, Nicole, we can't hear Chris. Is that Chris?
Yes.
We can barely hear.
I'm sorry. Do I need to speak up a little bit?
Move your headset a little closer.
Hello?
Yeah, you better work out. I'm just naturally very loud.
Yeah, me too. Me too, but we can't really hear Chris at all, actually.
Okay. What Chris was getting into, maybe we have a problem with his headset, with the upcoming booms of information and doubling of data, that there are a lot of startups and a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are really getting into this marketplace where everyone always thinks of the Facebooks, Googles, the Zyngas when they think of hot IT companies, and it's really important to keep your option open to the small business and the startups, because if you get in on the ground floor, you have the potential to really move up there and become a key player in a few years. That's also something that we've seen changing as well, where it used to be somebody would stay in their industry and their position for 20 and 25 years, have their career there. Now we're seeing is that the average person, especially in the IT industry, stays in a position, about 3 to 4 years. So there's definitely a lot more transitioning going on within the industry. And in addition to that, it's also good to keep your mind that, staying long-term in a company can also aid you in, becoming more established there, growing with the company, especially if you get in on the ground floor of a startup, entrepreneur company, or even go into a small business realm where you can really have certain advantages there that you wouldn't have in the large organizations. Of course, going to the large names too is also really ideal, and of course, having a tenure there would be excellent as well. Just that there's definitely a lot of options, and as the growing technologies emerge, it's always going to be the new startups to get involved with and start up yourselves.
And one thing specifically as well that I want to touch base on, we actually had a speaker come in tomorrow.
Sorry, can't hear him.
Can't hear me?
Do you want to try my headset? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfectly.
All right, perfect. So I apologize, there's been something going on with my headset. But essentially what I wanted to focus on specifically is we had a speaker actually come in yesterday who is actually a representative of one of the two organizations we work with. And one emphasis he was really touching base on is, he does a lot of hiring himself. So for recent grads, a couple points that he was kind of mentioning was ultimately, he's used to seeing IT individuals, and he kind of has that mindset that a lot of the recent grads, they, in all honesty, are job jumpers. So you go from, one organization to another. So I think if you can really let them know that you're looking to, develop a career and kind of, put yourself in a position to grow within the organization, they're going to look very highly upon that. Now that was just one personal input, but, I think it's little things to kind of keep in mind. But additionally within that, what Nicole was saying about specific jobs, you have your capabilities with your startups, but you also have, longer-term organizations where now they're also going to be turning towards IT individuals because every organization needs IT people. And, as we're moving forward, as we mentioned, everything's going tablets, things along those lines, so they're going to have to update their systems. So really keep your options open as far as the type of organizations you have available and even the type of industries. I mean, it doesn't all have to be technical fields. It could even be more so in engineering capabilities now, because a lot of those organizations have the similar needs where, for instance, you're looking at C#. It used to be more of a dead industry. They thought it was going away, so now a lot of schools aren't even offering it, but it's coming back. It's a high priority, high demand position that, it's coming around again. A lot having to do, I think, with, the HTML5, where you're, more so or less I'm going to seeing of the Flash capabilities, but now it's going to be transitioning over to HTML5. And I think a big thing to keep in mind is as you're working and as you have the skill sets and experience, a big thing and a big way a lot of job seekers look for individuals is the skill sets you have on your resume. So always make sure that you're updating that. Make sure you're putting it in Career Builder. You have your resume out there because your field is high demand and there's going to be a lot of people looking for you, which is, definitely a great place to be in. But if you don't have the updated skill set, you might be passed over. So always be, updating the resume, submitting that through boards like us, and even, potentially at other locations, more of your niche stops. And those are a couple main pieces, I would specifically recommend. Is there anything else you would throw in, Nicole?
Hi, yes. Definitely continuing education is going to be really key as well, where there have been some recent articles out about, more veterans in the IT industry that, became a little stagnant in their careers and now are finding themselves a little outdated. And so keeping up with your skill sets, I know that you guys are all recent grads and probably excited to be done with school, but that doesn't mean we're not done learning. And updating certifications and skill sets is always going to be really important. Like what Chris was saying with C++, a lot of schools aren't offering it, so, having that hands-on capability and learning yourself, which I'm sure many of you have done throughout your career so far, is going to be continuously important as technologies develop. Always stay on the forefront and make sure that not only updating your resume but updating yourself and making sure that you are continuously learning the new hot trends. This slide shows that of 60% of the new jobs being created only 20% of the population will have those skill sets. Well, you guys are definitely part of that 20% of the population, and so it just shows you how in demand you are. We talked a little bit about yesterday in our IT update about how really what kind of global organization doesn't have an IT department, whether they outsource it or have it in-house. It's just necessary to manage their networks, update technology, and just, rewriting software even for a non-specifically IT company. Always going to be necessary. So these are some of the top IT positions that are really in demand right now that we've been able to pull through our supply and demand portal, which we've used data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, of course our own career builder data, but also from EMSI and Builder-2 Technologies. And these are the real hot trending positions right now in the industry. And another really cool thing is that these are, there are different areas where these can be more in demand. So everyone knows, of course, that Silicon Valley is always going to be a hot area for IT talent, but you can travel anywhere in the country and find tons of positions open for you if you possess these skill sets, and you'd be able to really have, options to go anywhere and work and travel around. All right. So in closing, right now the industry is trending upwards. We definitely see increase over the next few years, and of course that's going to be trending upwards as we become more of a digital society. And just make sure that you're always continuously educating yourself, continuously updating your skill sets and your resume. Definitely keeping yourself out there. Joining. Uploading your resume into Career Builder. SoloGate is also our IT and engineering niche site to get additional exposure, and make sure that you're always, looking for the best opportunities for yourself, and whether it be with a small business, entrepreneur, startup, or, going for, one of the big names. Okay.
Is there anything else?
No. Yeah. That was that's it. We can answer questions at the end.
Yeah. Sure.
Is there specific topics?
Okay. Well, thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Chris. I know that you will be here to answer questions at the end. Am I right?
Yes, I will be.
All right, perfect. Well, moving on, we will be talking about our host today, about Amzur Technologies, and Meher. I would like Meher to actually talk about this.
Thanks, Bhavani. Good afternoon to everybody out there, and on behalf of Amzur Technologies, thank you for attending this webinar, and I'm hoping you're kind of gathering a lot of information that's going around in the IT industry in the U.S. today. Well, coming to Amzur Technologies, we are a global company where we have headquarters in Tampa, Florida, and we have offices in Virginia, and also a global development center in India. And one of the key things that we attribute ourselves is our more than 100 plus employees, majority of whom are technical consultants working on different engagements for us, and we sure are counting more as we are moving forward and as we are growing actually. So, and we are also led by more than 40 plus years of combined experience or expertise people at all levels, especially in the top management, both on a technical as well as from a business leadership point of view. And we do serve on more than 15 plus federal and state government agencies here as a solution provider, and apart from our staff out services that we provide to several corporates and also state and federal government agencies. We are currently have about more than 70 plus corporate customers where our consultants and we are engaged in projects with them on different technologies and tools over the past couple of years at least. And like I was mentioning, we definitely are growing from end to end with more than 100 plus employees. And talking about the few more specialized areas that we also go after, one of them is we do cater to several projects that are more related to small and mid-sized enterprises too across the U.S. And we are an ISO 9001-2008 certified company with definitely proven process